It's the world famous Swag in the Morning. I am your brother Prince Cree.
And I'm Lady D.
Welcome to the another episode of the Swag is Yours stage. Swag in the Morning stage is yours. I'm excited, lady. I'm a little bit nervous, right? Lady, then you jump in and tell the people what swag means.
Swag means say with amazing grace.
And morning do not mean daytime. It's not daytime where we is, but it's daytime where she's at, right? And morning means new hope, new beginning, freedom from being in the darkness.
Yes.
So how's it going, lady?
It's going good.
Okay, so you got cosmetic stuff and self-makeup artists, and you didn't even ask me, was my lips right? Like, and ashy, like, you make sure you're good, right?
I'm just saying. I mean, I had it. You get ready to start already?
I always, lady, trust me, I don't start. I don't start. I'm no, okay. So now you're trying to flip it on me, make me think that I always start with you.
Yeah.
Okay, Lady D, I gotta say, the weight loss challenge thing you're doing, it's booming. You looking good.
Thank you.
You're knocking me out. You're knocking them out of the park. So you're gonna get the money, right?
I wish I could, but nah.
You can't. It's like
I can't.
A fine line, like the person that started the thing that cannot win it. Like it's
right.
Oh,
I started it. So whatever the gift may be, I won't be that one. I won't be the recipient.
Yeah, okay. Shout out to all my friends and family members. I got to send my condolence out to my man Sherrod from the Jonas Brothers, who lost his life through this COVID or through the pandemic, or just lost his life, man. I salute to him. He's a real good brother. I definitely had to say that and get that out. And big up to everyone who's striving through this pandemic. Listen, get your mental health. Let's come together as a Voltron.
Yeah.
Salute to Taraji P. Henson, who's talking about peace of mind with the mental health movement. Charlamagne got something going down this weekend. I have to salute those who are focusing on mental health.
Yes.
Gots to do that.
Yeah. Mental health is everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was always, it's always a big deal. But now since, the pandemic hit, you see so many people are just losing it. Things have definitely changed in our lives. And but I want everybody to know that, we can do this. Together we can. I always had this thing that together we can conquer anything.
I like that, man.
As long as you have somebody, you can't do everything by yourself. And in this pandemic and in this time, you do need somebody who can listen to you and be able to help you through. So I'm glad I have you.
Thank you. I'm glad I have. Oh, you threw me off with that one, Lady D. I'm glad I have you. Perfect combination.
No singing today.
We fit to a T. A perfect combination.
This is not that. This is not that, honey. No,
I'm auditioning.
Don't show all of your talent. Hold on to it.
Listen, let me thank everyone that came out to the musical with a purpose, My Life Matters, on September the 25th. Shout out to the Virginia Beach Mayor Bobby Dyers, and a lot of folks came out. Unexpected. I thought because they had a big show going up the road that it would be empty, and the house was packed. Listen, suicide is at its all-time high. It has no exemptions. Depression, do not care what race you are, what country you're from, what set you claiming, what gender you are. We speak, when My Life Matters, we speak from all genders, all cultures. I mean, listen, I got a lot of response from my rainbow hat. My wig, when I was coming out representing from the LGBT community. Like, look, we are here to help. Like you said, lady, it's about having that Voltron vibe. And that's what we are about with what we do. And so that's what I have. I got a lot to say on the news and all of this stuff, CNN, things like that. I can talk till I'm blue in my face. Right. I can talk about my Cowboys is 3-1. I could talk about we're going to beat the Giants in this Sunday. I can say all of that, but I want to get right into this.
To what?
To this amazing. She might correct me because we have the green room conversation, but I'm already.
Amazing.
I'm already
saying. I am saying she is
she's
amazing.
Just for the things she said.
That's it.
All right, lady.
You know, sometimes it doesn't take you that long to see a person. It doesn't really take you long. If you pay attention and then when you're speaking, you listen, you can tell the heart of a person,
Right
right?
away. Right
I'm
away.
telling you,
Right
yes,
away.
yes.
I definitely got it. I have to agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that something?
Yeah, you have to agree with me.
Excuse me?
I'm just saying, you have to agree with. You cannot deny that this person that we're
Oh,
getting
to
ready to bring
the
on.
person we bringing onto the stage.
Yes.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, of course I can't deny that. That's facts. You finally speaking facts, Lady D.
Okay.
Lady D,
Yes.
we don't need to introduce because let me tell you something. Her resume, we will be here all day.
Yes.
Like if I had to go ahead and speak her bio and speak all of that great stuff that we received, look, we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go get right into
We
it.
can get into it, and then it unfolds in the conversation that we're gonna have. So I'm excited about who we have, baby. You want to go ahead and let's do it.
Yeah, well, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Put it in. Put your hands together for the amazing, the incredible Brenda. Brenda Gilbert. I'm all nervous right now, and we look.
Oh, Miss Gilbert, thank you so much for hanging out with us, two crazy folks. We do appreciate your time. We thank you so much because we know that you're a busy lady. And so any time that you can give us, we really, really do appreciate. So we say welcome to you.
Welcome to you.
Well, thank you very much, Lady and the Prince, not Lady and the Tramp, so we can't mistake that.
I like that already. See, I told you, lady, I kicked you underneath the table and said, I like her. Lady and the Prince, not Lady and the Tramp. Oh, my God.
Okay. Very honored and humbled to be here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm going to lead off like this. Look, how are you feeling today? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you for asking. How are you all doing?
Are we doing fine?
We're great. We're great. And the fact that we're talking to you, listen, it has just made my day, okay? It just made my day.
And as humble as you are, I know you probably sitting there saying it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal to me. Trust me. So how have you been handling and hanging in there since this pandemic? So how have you been maintaining with your family and yourself?
Thank you. That's a really good question. Initially everybody was sort of in a state of what's going on, state of panic. I was very blessed to have all my family here. So I have 3 kids and my husband. So I was lucky the most. A roof over my head, food at the table. So I really don't have any complaints. Very blessed to have really good friends, very supportive friends, and also a very dedicated BRON crew that have been supportive of us and everything that we wanted to do. And we've had to adapt. We've had to pivot in terms of our focus. But here we are, still alive and standing. And I'm talking to 2 beautiful people who I'm taking everywhere with me because I want that same fanfare everywhere. I don't have cheerleaders, so I need these, live cheerleaders with me.
Thank you.
We will definitely be your cheerleaders.
We definitely. Listen. I'm not gonna do extra with all of that stuff. Lady D is a former cheerleader, so she's right on time with that. Perfect person to have rolling with you cheering.
And I think I still got it, so it's okay.
Oh, you got it and then some.
Yes. Now you probably figured it out already. I'm bad with names, right? So I give everybody, all my family members that comes on the swag, a nickname. And so I always break it down. So already it came to me right there. The amazing BG, beautiful girl. Like, the amazing BG, right?
Okay. I like that. I like that.
So Miss BG, the wonderful Queen BG. How about that? That sound right?
That's fine with me.
I'm taking you both with me wherever I go. I love that.
I come up with theme song every time, everywhere we go. We have a theme song. You have your own theme music,
like jam. Hey, jam.
Yes. See, I don't know how much work you'll get done because we'll be having too much fun.
Brenda, jam for me.
We were talking about Teddy Riley earlier. That's why.
That's my broham. His birthday is in 2 days. I should text him and tell him he's getting old. Hey, so look, tell everybody where you're from. Let's speak.
What's so funny?
Because it's like the answers are in my head already, so I'm like answering them out. But tell my viewers where you from.
I was born and raised in Vancouver, just a neighboring city outside of Vancouver. My parents are both from the Fiji Islands, so I like to say that I have the sort of the Indian influence with the island flavor. So yeah. So I grew up. So I'm one of the very few people from Vancouver that truly is a true Vancouverite, born and raised here. But we also have offices in Los Angeles, New York, UK, New Zealand, and a smaller office in Toronto as well. So we, as much as we are Canadian, our home is here. We do travel extensively and do business sort of all over the world.
Cool.
Wow. Okay.
So when we travel with you, right? You got to get I got your passport up to date, Lady D. I got to get that together. Okay. All right. So all my Toronto friends, brother Ray and John, I'll see you in Toronto. How far is Toronto from Vancouver?
Oh, it's only a 5-hour flight. I was just there a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Only 5 hours.
So I may not come. I may have to not. I may just, they my friends. I just text them when I get there. I thought it was like an hour. I could just drive it.
Now you know.
Oh boy, there goes that. They'll be mad if I'm in Vancouver and don't come see them in 5 hours.
Well, you don't have to really tell them, do you?
You're right.
They don't know if we don't say anything.
But John is watching.
That's right.
John is watching. Pastor Ray may not be watching, but John is watching. Because how dare you? I'm coming to see you, John. I'm coming to see you. Trust me.
Oh my goodness.
We're acting. We're acting out. All right. So you are in this industry that is dominating mostly. I'm not going to say controlled by men, but most men is in what you guys do. So how challenging is that? Being in this industry, which is flooded by a lot of guys. And I know you're not alone in your business, but how challenging is it? And tell me some of the ups and downs that you may have faced.
I think there's two things to address there, is looking at a challenge not as a challenge, but as an opportunity. And also is making sure that you're always looking up and not down. Because if you're looking down, it will bring you down into the ground, and we don't want that to happen as well. So we all already know, just in terms of our industry and other industries, where there is problems with gender equity and gender justice as well. But the reality is that we can provide, and we have provided, solution-based opportunities for people. So instead of, raising your hands up in the air and saying, I can't do this and I can't do that, is what can we do? What can we do just more in terms of representation in front of the camera and behind the camera, especially in leadership roles? And those leadership roles equate to decision makers who have power and influence. It's also really important for us to really support and hold hands with our aspiring, emerging executives and filmmakers. It's also really important for us to find other people that can collaborate with us from other studios or other organizations, the unions, the guilds, and things like that. So is it challenging? Has it been challenging? Of course. But the reality is I always look up and I always look forward.
Wow.
It's just, what, I'm sitting here and I'm just
I cross all my questions out.
I'm not going to. I'm just sitting here thinking about, all of the research that I've done and looking at the many, many things that you do. And before we get, in depth to your company and how that started, how do you juggle all that you do? I mean, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a businesswoman, and I mean, you have a huge business. I mean, that started small, but then you grew, and we'll talk about that as well. But how do you juggle all of those things? What is it like in your world, a day in the life of Miss Brenda?
Every day is very different. And I think that if I thought about everything I wanted to do and could do, I probably wouldn't get out of bed, quite candidly. I just do it. I think is that if you have purpose and passion, and for me, it's also just sheer determination and stubbornness and will. I just keep pushing forward. So, it depends on the time of year. I have three children. I have a 20-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 12-year-old, and yeah, they go to school. So it is the crazy shuffle in the morning.
Yeah.
Ideally, I always like to get up early so that I get a head start on my day with emails, things that I need to read, follow up, etc. And then I'm ahead of the game. So when everybody is waking up and looking at their emails, I've already responded and waiting for their response, and then sending the kids off, and making sure they're prepared and whatnot. And then the day begins, and it could be anywhere. Well, especially during a COVID world when you have multiple Zoom calls and phone calls, right?
Hmm.
But pre-COVID, it was a lot of traveling. I used to travel at least twice a month, and I was in LA, usually twice a month. March 7th of 2020, and I can be totally exact with that particular date, is I've already had 7 trips on the books. So
Oh, wow.
um, it is interesting in terms of the juggle, is, really making sure that you have quality time and you're present when you're with your family is really important. When I'm
Right.
away, I FaceTime with them every single day. I'm on top of everything. I know what's going on, whether it's my middle daughter plays hockey, my youngest dances, my son used to play hockey, is knowing when everything is, wishing them well, wishing them good luck. And then just sharing some funny and silly stories as well that we can laugh about. So they'll FaceTime with the dogs, and and doing silly things with the dogs, and things like that. But it's just like, whatever I do and however I try to balance it, I just want to always make sure that I'm present, I'm listening, and I'm actively listening to people, because as you both know, and we talked about it earlier, is you learn more from listening as opposed to talking.
Right.
Wow.
Definitely. You definitely do. And
That's a lot.
that is a lot, but I feel like a woman of your caliber and the things that you do, and with all of, like I said, with all of the hats that you juggle, that it would seem that it would be so hard to do it, but you make it. And I'm sure that there are challenges, but like you said, you look at them a different way, and so that is one thing that I have already learned, is that
Exactly.
I need to look at my challenges in a different
Don't look at
way.
the
Don't
downs or
look
the
at it.
ups. Like you
Yeah,
just you
yeah,
just taught me something.
yeah. That's
How to
absolutely,
refresh and how to kind of take things on. I appreciate that.
absolutely. So, as far as your children, how do they cope with mom sometime not being there? Is that something that you guys had an issue with, or has that been a challenge?
I think it's more challenging for me because I miss them, so much, and sometimes they aren't particularly happy when I'm just about to, board a plane.
Right.
Um, what has been really important is I have taken them on trips, so they understand. How will they understand if you don't take them and they're not immersed in the business in some way, right? So
Yeah.
I take them on the trips, and they come to meetings and they come to dinners, and they're able to come to some screenings or to be on set, so they understand the quantity of things, the caliber of things that we're doing in any given point in day. And it's just fun for them to understand. And I think that we've raised very critical thinking individuals, because when they watch a film, they don't say, oh, that's a good movie. They're just like, oh, the visual effects were good, but there's no real story to it, and the performances were I'm just like, okay, can you guys just watch something for the sake of watching something? So but it's just beautiful in our industry, and what we do is that they can be a part of what we're doing. My son actually worked at the studio, and I told everybody not to give him any preferential treatment so that he could understand. It's true. I'm not going to ever raise entitled, privileged children, because both
Wow.
my husband and I had to work very hard. This started off in in a house that I call a 1970s special that we rented for 14 and a half years. We didn't buy our house until 2015, I believe.
Wow.
And so I want to make sure that they understand that, you don't take the elevator ride up. You don't take the escalator up. You
Mm,
climb every step and you climb every rung, because you need to understand what you need to do in terms of putting the work in and being respectful to everybody that contributes to that work.
Wow.
Yeah, that I mean that's awesome because you feel like, I mean, there are some people who just teach, their children just jump in and they pick up where they left off, but your children will understand what it took for you to get
Yes.
there and how things operate. And it's actually I'm so glad that you take your children and make them a part of what you're doing so that they don't feel as left out. As parents, we can sometimes, we have things going on, and with Prince and I, we write plays and we do plays and things, but when we do plays, we have our children there. Our children are, putting the set together. Our children are trying to figure it out, right along with us. And like you said, when your son is watching a movie or something, they're picking, they're listening, and they're being critical, and they're giving their input.
Yes.
So I mean, it just says we're on the right
We're
track.
doing the right thing, because I'm like, look, you want to stay home, you can stay home. Lady D putting them to work with the concession, putting up
Yes. Yes,
all the
absolutely.
stuff.
And yeah, it's the same thing as, and I never have missed a birthday, a child's birthday. So that's why I could say with such accuracy that I had came back my last trip. I come back and it was March 7th because that was my son's birthday. So I made sure that I had the birthday dinner with him the day prior, and then took him out for brunch on his actual birthday on March 7th, and then came and flew back to Vancouver. And the only reason I flew back that day was because my daughter had a dance competition the next day. So
Wow.
it's really important not to miss a birthday or things that, at a young child's, looking at it from, let's just say, the lens of a child is what's important to them. Birthdays are important to them, but it's also very important to me because I remember the labor. I remember the day. I remember being pregnant. I remember all those things. So it's very meaningful to me. And I wanted to have 3 children. So they are truly a blessing because a lot of people are not gifted in the way that I am to have children and to conceive. And also is, the other holidays and things like that that they love is Christmas. I love Christmas. Like I'm crazy about Christmas. My mom makes the turkey and we'll make a dessert and I'll make everything else. And when I say Christmas, it's not just traditional turkey dinner, it's everything. I will make
Wow.
some shrimp. I will make fish. I will make extra chicken. I will make scalloped potatoes. We have Brussels sprouts. I make candied yams. Oh yeah, it's full on. It's full on at my house. I like to cook too.
Well, if you extend an invitation for us to come for Christmas, we'll come, no
I
problem.
like
There you
Christmas
go.
too. I like turkey. I like extra chicken. I like extra yams and shrimp. I like extra stuff. That all the stuff you said, I like extra, all of that. So
I
you
got
said
all
you have a
extra.
dancer.
Pardon me?
You said your daughter dance.
My youngest dances, yeah. She's in hip hop. Right now she's doing hip hop, ballet, jazz, musical theater, and something else. I'm a Broadway next class. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a dancer as well, and she does all of those things
Yeah,
that you
she's
just named.
10.
So
She does
Oh wow.
majorette,
we
jazz. Yeah.
understand that world
Oh
very,
my
very
gosh.
well.
The competitions and the costumes. And
Ugh.
I'm glad they tell guys stay out. And so Lady D, I feel for you. This is why I will cook, clean, and do all of that, but not the dance stuff. She have to change them on each set. I look, not
Oh,
me.
and the
I rather,
makeup. The makeup. I hate doing my own makeup. So
Right. Right. I'm one of those parents that I'll do something else. You go to the moms that do the makeup, so I'll pass on that one. I'll pass all day.
I, I just paid a bill. What's the tuition? I take care of that, lady.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So we talked about the children. We talked about a little bit of your life there. Let's go over to the BRON Media Corp. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your business and how you built that along with your husband.
yeah, so my husband and I, Aaron, founded the company. Gosh, it was actually incorporated in September of 2009. And we didn't open up shop officially until October of 2010, just starting off in Vancouver. And I'll be very candid with the both of you. I never expected it to expand, evolve in the way that it has. I just thought, oh, we're going to just do a few projects. And quite candidly, once again, is when my husband's like, oh, I think we can do this, because we had managed a project. He had raised the financing for a particular project and we produced it. He's like, I think we can do this on our own and open up our own studio. Now, bear in mind, at the time, I had a 1-month-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old, and literally a baby on my hip, going, really? I don't know if this is the right time to do this. Right? So, I think that if you have the entrepreneurial spirit, you just move forward with it. And because, we love the art of filmmaking and what it can do. And especially now in terms of all the platforms and all the mediums that you can actually show your content, not just to entertain, but to really educate and enlighten people. So that was back in, 2010. Started off with an animated project, and then started off with a few other live action narrative projects as well. And it just eventually evolved after that. But really, it's my husband that raised a lot of financing and is on the deal making and negotiating side of things.
Okay.
Beside every amazing woman, there's an amazing king, amazing helpmeet, like your husband, Aaron. I like Aaron. Because Aaron goes and just gets to, chop the tree down and for the wood, just kill the animals and whatever.
Yes, that's totally him. He doesn't like to get his hands dirty, but that's okay.
I like that. Reminds me of me.
Okay.
It reminds me of me. Reminds me of me, Lady D.
Yes.
He's looking for validation.
Yes, babe, you did it.
First of all, you showing up because you guessed the name, and I think that's what you're gonna wear me out with that. I told you I guessed the name. Tell everybody.
I'm not gonna mess with you. I'm just gonna leave.
So I'm gonna ask the question. How do you guys come up with the name? I had to leave my question on the table because I'd rather her say it than you. Right, how do you guys come up with that name?
I like the fact that Lady Cree came up with, understood it, because sometimes people are like, what does that actually stand for? And that's a weird way of spelling BRON, isn't it? BRAUN. And I'm like,
I thought LeBron James had something to do with it.
Hey, listen, BRON was around before LeBron James, just saying out loud.
All right.
We got it.
Yes, and not to negate from anything that he has done, because he's fantastic and he's a powerhouse and an incredible athlete. So, it was, when you're trying to come up with a name with your company, you want something that's very meaningful and it exemplifies what you believe in. It's part of your heart and soul. And so we came up with BRON, BRON, as just a play on letters and an acronym for both of our names merged together. My husband's and my name merged together. So the BR is Brenda and the ON is Aaron. So it's just very simple.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there you go. So you guys started small. You started from a small company, and now look at you. You have divisions. You got the animation, you got the creative, you got the studios, the releasing, the life, the digital. How did you guys do this? I know it wasn't easy. I know it was a lot of work. So how did you do this? How did this happen?
Sometimes I have to take a step back and scratch my head and go, how did this really happen? Initially with 6 credit cards maxed out. And then an investor came on board early by the name of John Raymonds. But we are not a corporate backed company. We have raised all our financing individually. And by we, I have to give kudos to my husband. He's done most of that financing on his own, or if not all. It was one project led to a next project. And, when it's like building up your resume, your CV, right? You do one project, you do something else, and then you add to it. And then you also broaden your network. So there was a point in time that we really had to work hard to be in a room with the major players, right? At the time, the major studio heads, the CEOs, and the presidents. And what's so wonderful now is that they're calling on us to collaborate with us in some capacity and asking for our feedback on projects, and looking at other opportunities, not just for today and tomorrow, but even for the coming years. So it's for me to actually explain what happened is, we found one project and realized that there was another project, and then also is, having to hire the teams to help us and work on it. And we're not anything without our teams as well. We have a great and strong leadership group. We launched, during the pandemic, we launched 2 different labels, including under animation BRON Digital, led by Jason Chen, who was our visual effects supervisor on a movie called Those Who Wish Me Dead with Angelina Jolie. It's having those sort of mission aligned, like-minded people that really want to do good in the world, want to put the work in, want to work on wonderful projects, but also really contribute positively to the culture at the studio. It's the same thing with David DeVoli, who runs our film and TV, our TV group. And he came on as part of our Legal and Business Affairs Council, and had a knack for finding, great content on the TV side of things and developing it, and has produced, multiple shows, one of them on AMC right now called Kin. So it's just, if you predicted this and if you mapped it out, we all know that life doesn't give us this, right? There's no sort of clear-cut pathway. There's always detours. The mode of transportation can change as we go along. It's for us to realize the gifts that we've given and the opportunities that we are given, and to give other people opportunities and access as well.
Wow. I'm amazed because, you know, uh, I'm just going to be really honest. I was a little nervous earlier today, and I was sitting at work and said, we're going to interview Miss Gilbert, and she's done all of these amazing things, and she's on a certain level, so we have to be a certain way. But I realized, as the more we talk to you, that you're so down to earth, and you're so humble, and it's just easy. It gives me hope. I'm looking at you, and I look at your resume and all of the things that you have under your belt, and I look at Prince and I and said, we can do that. We can do that. You make it. And I understand that it's not easy. I understand that it's
Mhm.
hard work. I understand that you have to sacrifice some things, but then you make it seem like it's doable.
Yeah.
It is doable. It's doable for us. So,
The hope is there. Like
yeah.
you're just you're sparking without you knowing, it's waking up the giant inside of us. And
Yeah.
just
Mm.
for those things that you're saying is really, it's inspirational. It's inspiring us to do great things,
Yeah.
because you had 27 Academy Award nominations, and I believe out of those, maybe 6 or 7
But it's-
wins,
mhm.
where with Fences, which I watched over and over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
I watched that movie like Fences. I'm like, yes. And then what is it? The Joker, and then Bombshell, and then, like, and to top it off, we took all of our children to see Respect,
Yes.
and all of these things came out of your studio. It inspired me all day today. Matter of fact, all since we was setting up this interview, I was excited just and motivated just by whether you came or not. That's inspiring.
Hmm.
It inspired me.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. The 27 nominations were with our studio collaborators as well. So we do have a slate deal with Warner Brothers and with MGM as well. And we were executive producers on The Joker, and Judas and the Black Messiah and Fences. So which means we put some financing together. We didn't take that lead producer role where we're day in, day out on set. So really, it was so many people that worked on this to really achieve the visibility that it has, all these projects. But I have to say that the first time I realized that we had visibility as a company, not just visibility for the project, was when Viola Davis thanked us on stage at the Oscars. And both Aaron and I were actually there at the Oscars going, oh my God, did she just say BRON? So, but given that and the nominations and the wins with our studio partnerships and with such wonderful collaborators and our crew on a per project basis and our crew at BRON, is we can always do better and we can always strive better and we can still help people. That's the key. Is there's so many people that are wanting to do this, that are qualified to do this, have been in the business for so many decades, because we also not have to look at the emerging, aspiring artists, filmmakers, content providers, executives, but we also have to look at those who are facing ageism, right? Racism, against the ages. And you're like, for me, as I grew up with a grandmother who was a wealth of knowledge, why wouldn't you want to have somebody be part of a project or to be part of your organization or a part of your studio? Think about their experiences. We stand on their shoulders. They've provided us with such knowledge that we can take that and we can move it forward and we can pay it forward and we can really, really help others. We're in a society right now that dismisses them with Alzheimer's or dementia. And that's not necessarily the case. As if we actually looked into their notebooks or their computers, can you imagine what type of information that they had and what type of help that we could actually receive if we're willing to receive it and to accept it?
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. That's something that really, to really, really think about. Now, one of the questions that just crossed my mind is that, I watch, I watch a lot of the movies, and we sit and because we're the ones who go to the movies and we sit and watch all of the credits go, all of the credits. Now, tell me exactly what does a producer do, so that now when I go to the movies, I'm gonna like, oh, they did this, they did that. What does a producer do? Like, what is your job?
In some cases for BRON, the producer is responsible for so many different things. So
Okay.
Putting together the budget, the cost reports, essentially assembling everything for the production, is getting a good line producer to get the teams together, all the keys for a particular production, whether that's transportation, locations, hair, makeup, and making sure that things are within budget, and looking at the scheduling of things, right? And also looking at different variables. How much is it going to cost to have something done in a studio where you have to build sets? How much is it going to cost if we have a nighttime shoot? Making sure that we have enough crew. And also, especially in a COVID era, is that making sure that the safety protocol is put into place with best practices. We had an 87-page handbook on COVID safety and protocol to make sure that everybody was adhering to everything that they needed to, and then some. We're very overly cautious at BRON, and we just want to make sure that everybody's safe. So a producer is responsible for everything, including like from start to finish. So the prep of the film, to the production, to the post-production, which includes the music, the color, the sound, the editing. Movie magic is in the editorial, so making sure that you have a good editor on board. I feel personally, and it might be subjective, that a good editor can make a movie, along with the director's vision. So yeah, it's a lot, and an executive producer can do a lot of things, as they can be supportive of the film. In our case, is that we've had a financial contribution, but we also look at dailies, and give our input, and also give our input just in terms of sales and distribution, or sometimes in those conversations as well when looking at a particular film.
Okay.
Yeah. They do a lot.
Who went to school for all of this?
Yes. Did you go to school for that?
No, that's the thing, is I always tell a lot of individuals, especially I've been working with the BIPOC and API communities, in terms of saying to them is that you actually have one leg up on me. I never went to film school. I never, neither did my husband. We had to learn everything on the fly and educate ourselves, and then, re-educate ourselves, because 10 years ago, the streamers didn't have the prominence that it has right now. Netflix wasn't a major player. Now you have Amazon, now you have Hulu, you have Crave, you have all sorts of platforms right now that you can put your content on, or hope to put your content on. So I think that I think on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, is everybody is continually learning, just because we've had to adapt and pivot with the prominence of these different mediums and platforms. But also in a COVID world, we had to really adapt and think about, okay, if people are not going to the theaters, what do you do? Right. And especially you have to think about another thing you have to think about is your target audiences. Like, even in a COVID world and things are opening up, is who's actually going to the theaters? Is it a particular age group? Is it families? Are people reluctant, depending upon, even it varies from state to state. So, looking at all of those factors as well. So to answer your question, no, don't really have formal education in film.
Okay, then I don't feel bad after all.
But hey,
nobody's trying to make you feel bad. Come on
no.
now.
All the things I've sit there, a few friends of mine went to school. They went to, and I self-taught myself this. And Lady D, I never went to school. I took some acting classes, screenplay writing, 1, 2 online, but never stepped foot in the schools. And I made things happen. I did a feature, never went, it didn't go anywhere, but it was something for me. I did a few plays, Lady did a few plays, and it felt good to me. And so you're encouraging me. It's American figure speech, and not to feel bad after all, but I do have to say you are so inspiring, because that's how I feel. If it's a natural gift, if it's a God-given gift, activate it. You know what I'm saying? You're great. You're not great. Les Brown says this. I don't know if you heard of Les Brown. Les Brown said, you're not great because you're starting something. You're great, right? You don't have to be great to start something, but you're great when you started. If that's what makes you special, that you started, you and your husband started something. And Lady D and I, we created something called Equally Yoked Entertainment Enterprises back in 2010, and we just kept going. We had to figure it out. What is it we want to do? Do we want to do this? Do we want to do plays? Do we want to, and each year came and went. We kept saying, what is it that we need to do? And I kept saying, look, we're just going to keep pressing. And here we are doing a podcast. That's another step. And so thank you for encouraging us.
Yeah,
sure.
but
Absolutely.
I also want to say for our listeners and our viewers that here we are speaking to Brenda Gilbert, and as you just heard, she said she didn't go to school for what she's doing, but look at the tremendous stride that she has made. Look at the movies, look at what she's doing, where she's her company is big. It went small and now it's big, and you're doing great things. So going to school and not having what you think you should have is not a reason not to go forward, not to move on your dreams. Don't get stuck. And that is for me, because I am a person who I'm not going to do that until I go to school for it. Let me just do this. And I'm learning that sometimes you just got to step out and you just got to do it. You'll learn along the way. If you need to pick up a class or two here and there, then go ahead and do it. But you are the epitome of strength, and keep on going, and just go get it. Just go and do it, because now look at you. Look at what you have accomplished. And I'm hoping that everybody looks at that and say, well, you know what, I can do it.
I can do it.
I can do it. Let's just start it and see what happens.
I love it. This is a special night right now.
Yes,
And to be
yes.
honest, we had some guests here, and just everyone was inspirational, inspiring to some of our listeners.
Yeah.
But we thank you. We thank you. Here is the part, right, where we really give you the stage. This segment is called The Stage Is Yours. And so this is the time where you can do what you want. If it's your birthday, you can act as if it's your birthday, but you can say what you want, do what you want, tell people, say some inspiring, encouraging words to some people. For us, it would mean a lot to some of our viewers that you can give them some words of encouragement. Mrs. Brenda Gilbert, the stage is yours.
Well, thank you both again. I'm again very, very honored and humbled to be here and to be asked to be doing something. And a little secret is I actually don't like doing these types of things. I don't like to be putting myself in the front line or in front of people. I like to be behind the camera. So why I'm doing this is you both have been very, nice to ask me, and I felt it was an opportunity to reach communities and to give them hope and aspiration in some capacity. So my advice to people is what I call the 4 Ps is if you're passionate about something, particularly with filmmaking, stick to it. The second P is the purpose. What is your purpose? If you want to go into filmmaking, do you want to be a writer, director, producer? And putting in the patience and and you have to have perseverance as well, because it took my husband and I 20 plus years to what I call to be an overnight success. And success is subjective. So what I may view as successful may be very different to somebody else. So, and then for today's show, I want to add a fifth P is, life will give you craziness and curveballs and whatnot. Is, you need to just take that and keep your poise and keep your head up. Keep at it. It's really, really important. During COVID, I was going through some dark periods as well, particularly to my birthday month, which is in April. And what had happened at that time is I had all these things planned. I was going to have a party in Los Angeles. I was going to have a party in Vancouver. I was going to go on my first girls' trip for a little while and, actually take a bit of time off, which I've never done in my working career. And I had to do this about face and say, you know what? There are so many other people that are struggling than me. They're dealing with death, they're dealing with poverty, they're dealing with domestic abuse. They don't have food on the table. They don't have their family near them. They're alone. They can't get out of the house. They can't travel. So I decided, and it was only supposed to be for the month of April, to put an inspirational quote every single day, as a guiding light, as an opportunity for people to really look at themselves and to know their self-worth, to know that, that they are beautiful, intelligent people, and you have the capacity to do so much. And what's really important about that is we've been conditioned to think badly about ourselves. I used to, when I was in corporate, the corporate finance sector, is I used to say I have 3 things against me because I was in my 20s and I was managing director of a company. My boss was so encouraging and so inclusive. He was about 3 years older than me, is that he had promoted me to managing director and I'd only been with the company for 8 months. But I used to say something that was actually not very good. And it was detrimental to almost self-hate. And that was, I would say that I have 3 things against me, and that's my age, the color of my skin, and the fact that I'm female. And I've decided I'm not doing that. I did a whole 360 and later on in life and said, you know what? Those are my positive attributes, that I am a person of color and I am a woman and I can do wonderful things. And it doesn't matter how old I am. I'm going to stand loud and proud, and I'm going to hold hands with whoever wants to hold hands with me.
Mm, awesome.
Oh, take the solo. um,
That's awesome. That is awesome. We usually just end it right there, but I'm just like, you know what? There's a million more questions, and there's but I'm gonna stop. I'm not
yeah.
gonna hold you any longer. I'm just gonna say thank you so much. We really, really appreciate your time.
Yes.
We appreciate the nuggets, and I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to reiterate those five
Peace.
those five P's just so that everybody can get it, because I'm a note taker.
Show
And
you. Show you.
this is something that I am going to hold on to and I'm going to remember, and I want everybody else to do the same thing, because I'm always told, you follow great to become great.
Yes, indeed.
And because we met you, such a great person, with a great personality, a great spirit, and a great, you have this, it's just greatness with you. I'm going to tell everybody, listen to these 5 P's that she
Write them
gave us.
down.
Passion, you have to
Passion.
be passionate about what you do. Purpose, what
What
is
is
it
it
that you
that you
want to
want to
do?
do? Right.
You have to have patience.
Love that
You
one.
have to have perseverance.
Love it.
And you got to have poise. You got to keep your head up. Oh my gosh. So those 5 P's, I will be repeating them over and over,
Yes.
so that every day that I can work on becoming a better me. You
We
know,
need this.
and that's what it was all about, is just becoming a better you. I mean, we had, I think that for us, we were thinking that it was going to go one way. We're going to interview her. We're going to talk about the movies. We're going
Movies
to talk
and
about this. And now it's just like, it was just like a lesson to us, and it's inspiration. And like you said, it's about the community. And so if we impact the community through this interview, then we've done everything that we were supposed to do. Those 5 P's
yes, I love
again:
it.
passion, purpose, patience, perseverance, and poise. Miss Brenda, thank you
Thank you,
so
thank you,
much.
thank you.
Thank
It is
you.
crazy. We are so big on those type of letters and those acronyms, or you just made our day. We appreciate you. I normally exit people out. I'm normally rude at this point, Miss Friend Brenda, but I have to say, I salute you. I really do. Um, this is history for me, because
Yeah.
I love these things. I do things for legacy building, and this is a nugget added to our building our legacy and what we do as a couple doing this. And salute to Aaron and the family. Right now, you're a family member. I don't know to say you auntie, you cousin, you my third cousin. Like you a family member, and you're always welcome. If you need us to say, hey, I need you to put that out, promote this, do that. We are down. We're the cheerleaders forever for you, in your company. We thank you again. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you, Miss Brenda.
You're most
Any
welcome.
last words? Anything you want to say?
I appreciate the both of you, and we have to find an opportunity to celebrate the both of you. And apparently, I'm seeing you at Christmas at my house, right? So
yeah, virtual. You can show. Okay.
I'll show you.
I'm gonna show up at a doorbell. Ladies and gentlemen,
it's just important. Last words are just, it's important to help one another for a sense of community. There's so many things that we can do and champion, and not just on a corporate level or a studio level, which we've been doing with our Chief Marketing Officer Cassandra Butcher, but also on our own. I sit on boards, I'm on advisory councils, but it's not just about me and look at me and what I'm doing. It's more about what can we do to benefit the community.
That's right.
yes, we saw all of that also, as well as your giving and your heart. But we'll save that for the remix when we bring you back. I don't know your birthday.
I want some dancing then. I need some dancing if we're doing a remix.
Got you. We got you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is yours, my queen, my sister, Lady B. I put the lady in it. I'm changing every minute. Brenda Gilbert, put your hands together. Thank you, queen. We love you to life, and there's nothing you can do about it but love us back. And in the process of loving us back, you can take a selfie and say to yourself, your life matters to us. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you, Lady and the Prince.
World famous swag in the morning. That was Brenda Gilbert.
Yes.
Lady D. She's amazing, man.
She was amazing.
Oh,
I'm happy.
You happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
You was wearing me out. Please book her. Please book her. Please book her. Okay, I did it. For you, my love.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you.
Lady and the Prince. You better say it. Brenda Gilbert, we love you. This is swag in the morning, y'all. It is time for us to go. I know we're like 6 minutes early. I want us to go all the way to 8. But Miss Brenda Gilbert, she just touch my heart.
Absolutely.
I'm saying, man.
Absolutely.
Real talk, lady.
Beautiful woman. Beautiful.
We was going to talk about respect, all that stuff. I forgot all about that.
Right. We had it all planned out, but that's not the way that it went. And I'm so glad.
And I think when she opened up, when she was talking about the janitor, she was cleaning up stuff, and her son was like, why'd you doing that? Yeah. Like, that told me right there, she's a giver. She's a person that very passionate about people.
Yes, yes.
And I wasn't shocked.
Nope. Excellent.
I know when God puts something in my spirit, I go after it.
Absolutely. Hey.
Taking off next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
It's World Famous Swag in the morning. Until next week, we'll see y'all. And keep God first. Definitely keep God's first.
Absolutely.
And please work on your mental health. Talk to your family members. Talk to someone. Transparency is a part of healing.
That's right.
Listen. Say the P's, lady.
Remember the passion, the purpose, patience, perseverance, and poise. Miss Brenda Gilbert gave us that. So y'all rock and roll with it this week. And y'all have a very, very, very wonderful weekend.
Yes, we love you. World Famous Swag.
Amazing grace.
It's us in the morning with the swag in the morning.
Say with amazing grace.